Welcome to Tunisia's Locks, Beauty Tips, and Potpourri, the channel where we get it all in. You can also learn more about the I Am Melanin Magic brand. Thank you for stopping by. Hello, and welcome to Tunisia's Locks, Beauty Tips, and Potpourri, also known as the I Am Melanin Magic brand. I hope that this video finds you in a beautiful, beautiful space today, both physically, mentally, emotionally, and just in your overall wellness. It's nice to be here talking to you today. Today's video is sort of a culmination of my knowledge over the last 15 plus years with regard to my locks, okay? And this video can apply to anyone who has small locks. It doesn't matter what you call them, Sisterlocks, Microlocks, how you started them. We all have to maintain them. We all want to keep them healthy. And over the duration of 15 years, I have learned a lot. So the things that I'm going to talk to you about today are the pieces of wisdom that can be applied to you wherever you are on the journey if you have small locks, okay? So stick around. Make sure you get to the end of the video. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. You can like it. And if you are interested in finding out more about the I Am Melanin Magic brand, which is a brand of hair and skincare products that I have created with my own hands, you can go to the I Am Melanin Magic website. If you are new to the lock journey and you want a way to chronicle your journey, you want to be able to note your wins, your teachable moments, track your retightnings or your retwists or whatever it is, regardless of the type of lock that you have. You can have larger locks as well. If you're looking for something that is comprehensive, interactive, and transformational, that also will help you to detail the metamorphoses that you go through as you go through this journey, you're going to want to get the LOC Journey, okay? The LOC Journey Journal. This is a tracker and planner that I created. It's comprehensive. It has space for everything. Not only do the last 100 pages really deal with your transformation, the inner self, and the inner illumination that comes as you go through this journey, it has your affirmations, it has your interim journeys, it has places for you to put your lock insights, it has your lock-iversary, everything from your 1 month lock-iversary all the way up to, how far did I go? Pages like this where you can put in the date or the length of time. We have your Loctician profile. We have tips in here, things that I talk about on the channel, things that you need to be aware of with your Loctician. Not only are you going to be tracking the profile, but you'll be writing down Loctician concerns, things that she tells you, things that you want to talk to her about, your photos, so many different things. You can get this on the I Am Melanin Magic website. You can also get it on Amazon. Okay, let's go ahead and get into today. One of the very first things that I think kind of slide by, we don't really talk about it enough, has to do with you being tender and gentle with your hair. I could have used a lot more patience early on in my journey when it came to my locks, even during times when I would do my own retightenings and I might marry a lock, but it was just a tiny small piece of hair that belonged to another lock and I might just pull it. And although you couldn't see the ramifications of it right away, after several months or after a year, I was able to see the damage. That's how our locks respond. They give us feedback. Okay, we get immediate feedback in terms of the sensation, but we're going to get long-term feedback in terms of what our locks look like when we make a pivot or when we do something that has not served us well and something that has had a negative impact on our hair. My moving to knotted locks, I learned a lot about it. It has taken a toll on my hair, and my hair is in recovery mode at this time. for the last several months, and it is starting to rebound. But we learn a lot. When I talk about things that we do that may not be kind to our hair, it could be something as simple as sitting on your seat of your car. Uh-oh, we got a lighting change. Hold on. The clouds are coming in. It could be something as simple as sitting on your chair driving with your hair up against the seat and it constantly rubbing up against the seat, creating friction. That thins the lock over time. It can be very detrimental. So if you have longer locks, you don't want to separate them and wear them like this. You may want to wear them like this as you move around in the world so that your locks are not up against the back of your shirt. So little things that you can do, small decisions that you can make that have profound effects on your hair. You get out of the shower, your hair is tangled. Instead of just ripping the hair apart, take the time to spray it. You can use a premium oil blend, which is great from I Am Melanin Magic. It's an excellent detangler. Let it sit for a couple minutes and just simply pull the hair apart. You can use anything. But the most important thing you got to use is patience, and you have to have a method. And you have to make sure that when you are dealing with your hair, that you are giving it the tenderness that it deserves. Because the amazing thing, like I said, about our locks is you get to see the decisions that you made or what was going on with you at a particular time much later in the lock journey. You don't always see the results right away. So look at the ways that you are moving through your hair care routine, how you are detangling, how you are doing pre-shampoo preparation. I always have felt like you need to detangle your hair and groom it prior to washing it, especially if your loctician is not the one that's going to be washing your hair and she's doing just your retightenings. Then you want to make it as easy as you can for her. The easier it is for her, the easier it's going to be on your hair. Which brings me to number 2. Are you tired of struggling with hair growth and thinning strands? Release the magic in your locks and tresses with I Am Melanin Magic hair oils. A premium blend of all natural ingredients strengthens, restores, and revitalizes your hair for maximum health and growth. Don't let thinning hair straighten hair brand. Upgrade your hair care game today. So are you. I Am Melanin Magic hair oils. Your loctician. You really want to have a good relationship with your loctician. But more importantly, you really want to know if you have a loctician that is not aligned with your values. Someone who does not support what it is that your hair needs and is not willing to listen to the feedback or maybe some of the intuitive feelings that you may get when it comes to your hair or things that you know that your hair needs. That person is not able to absorb that. That person is not able to accommodate you. They're very dictatorial. Maybe they have a certain way that they want to do things and it doesn't give you freedom over your own head. You want to be mindful of that. I read something recently in the comments. A lady was saying, I think it was a lady who was saying she pays $310 or $315 every 6 weeks for her retightenings, and it doesn't matter how many locks she has. The lady will charge the same amount if you have 300 locks, if you have 600 locks. She said that the lady wants her to come in every 3 to 4 weeks. She didn't feel that that was needed, so she's having to pay extra. But she was also saying that she noticed that her hair was sore quite a bit. I believe this is the same response. It may be me talking about two different things, but either way, what she was feeling was her hair was hurting and it shouldn't be hurting, and her hair didn't need to be retightened every 3 to 4 weeks. And she was getting something else from her loctician. This is when you have to follow what feels right. This is when You have to tune in, you have to tap in to that higher guidance that knows or that feels into the energy of other individuals and gets a sense of what is going on. Does that person have your greatest and highest intentions? Are they simply doing to your hair what they do to everyone else's hair? Are they taking into consideration your hair's particular needs, your hair's particular growth cycle? All of these things are important. I don't care what anybody tells you. Never sit down in the seat of an individual who has the tool in their hand and give up your sovereignty. Giving up your sovereignty means allowing them to make decisions that you should be making, taking their advice over your own inner knowing and over your own knowledge of what it is that your hair needs. It means abdicating your responsibility for the overall health of your hair and trusting them wholeheartedly and blindfoldedly in the process from start to finish, never checking behind them. You need to understand that your hair is your responsibility and no one else is going to be as invested as you are in your hair than you. The third thing you want to be mindful of is pain. You never want to feel pain. Okay, pain equals weakened follicles, stressed follicles, hair loss, breakage. Pain equals locks that are not happy. Your hair should not hurt just because you are getting it done or just because you are getting a retightening. While you may have been conditioned that way through years and years of having your hair be a source of stress, or remembering growing up with caregivers who rushed in styling your hair and not giving your hair what it needed. Whatever it is that created the separation between you and your hair and built almost a belief system around your hair that in order for it to be done, it should feel painful or you should be able to endure a certain amount of discomfort. That is not only an outdated paradigm, but it is a very dysfunctional way of thinking, and it is not a healthy environment for your hair. When your hair hurts, it is communicating with you. When you sit down in your loctician's hair seat and she's working on your hair and your hair repeatedly hurts, okay, whether it's hurting during the retightening or it's hurting after the retightening. Normally, if it hurts during the retightening, it's also going to hurt after the retightening. If you're having to take Motrin, if you're having to take Advil, if you're having to get home and wet your hair, or you can't touch your hair and you can barely, lift it up without it feeling painful, that's a problem. And that's going to lead to an even greater problem down the road. So you want to be super, super careful about that. Okay, understand that this is an at-risk hairstyle, and the longer that you have the hairstyle, the more that you have to be on top of the maintenance of the hairstyle, the tenderness that is required of the hairstyle, looking at your hair, paying attention to what your hair needs, noticing if it's thriving, being willing to pivot and go in a different direction at any given time. These are things that you have to be prepared for, okay? To help minimize the stress on your hair, in addition to the way you may be handling your hair, you are going to want to make sure that you keep your hair moist. Okay, some of you may need to do this 2-3 times a week. Right now, my hair is requiring it about 3 times a week. Something I really never had to do. I would always oil it. It's requiring a different type of oil, so I'm supplementing the premium blend. I'm adding a little bit of grapeseed, not to your blend, but to mine, okay? And that is making my hair feel so good, but I always make sure now that I just wet my tips and I massage my scalp with some water. Be mindful of how much water you are using, especially if you are in an area that has hard water, and even if you are not, depending upon what's going on with your hair and what it is you're doing and the conditions, too much water can be detrimental to your hair. No different than too much water can be detrimental to your plants, okay? Too much of anything can be detrimental. But I will moisten my hair like this, okay? It will immediately soften and take in the water. My hair has always been super dry. Growing up, my hair was always very dry. As an adult, as a young adult, my hair was always very dry. And then I will go in with my oil, okay? And by that time, my hair is feeling absolutely wonderful. It is nicely moistened. And then I may spray a little in my hand, about the size of a quarter, and gently touch my tresses. Now, as I mentioned in the last video, when my hair needs to be washed, it starts to feel crunchy, and it starts to let me know when it needs to be washed. I can always look at my scalp and scratch my scalp and also see if there is any buildup. I tend to go longer between washes. My hair has always thrived that way, and so I do what works. But I'm constantly monitoring my hair to see what my hair needs. Okay, so let's move on to number 5, which has to do with your retightening schedule or your relocking schedule, or whatever it is you do for your touch-ups. Be mindful that not everybody's hair needs the same thing. Be mindful that not every lock in your head may need the same thing. You may have various areas of density in your hair. You may have various types of curl pattern within your hair. Depending upon what's going on with your unique hair, you make decisions based on that, and then you let your loctician know what you want her to do. It could be a situation where you have some hair that's very tender and it needs to be left alone, and so you have everything else retightened except a few hairs that you are watching, except a few hairs that you are rehabilitating, that you are observing to see what is going on, and then maybe you're working on those strands or those locks on your own. Never be afraid to step outside of what the prescription or the instruction may be, or the directive may be that you've gotten from someone else who's not you. Okay? Which brings me to the next point, number 6, which is don't be afraid to experiment with your hair. You may not be interested in being a do-it-yourselfer, and that's fine. But at some point, your hands got to go up in your hair, and you've got to feel comfortable. If you decide that you want to take over a section of your hair that may be feeling damaged, or that could not be responding very well to the retightening regimen, or whatever else it is that you're doing, you have to feel comfortable coddling that part of your hair, which means you may need to know how to do a retightening. You may decide to just loop through with your hands and do your interlocking that way, which is what I'm doing now. You may decide to get the art craft needle, the plastic craft needle that I talk about in many of my older videos, and you may decide to lock that way. You may get another tool. The point is, pay attention to what your hair needs are, and understand that your hair is gonna entangle. It's gonna do what it's going to do, barring some more recent things that I've learned when it comes to these knots. Your hair is going to do what it does. So you can't go wrong. You can't go but so wrong. And in many cases, you can't go wrong at all. As long as you are consistent, as long as you are paying attention to what is going on, as long as you are observing your locks, and as long as you're giving them time to develop, and you're seeing and you're taking that feedback and you're using it to guide future decisions. Those things are always important, because if not, you're at the mercy of someone else. If not, you get into a situation where you're scared and you think, oh my God, my locks I'm gonna mess them up. They're not gonna look right, yada, 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 yada. Your hair is going to be fine, just like mine is. And I've done so much to my hair over the last 16 years. I've done a lot, I've learned a lot, and I've enjoyed every part of the journey, and I wouldn't take any of it back. Why? Because I've learned so much. And you have to be prepared to shift, because your hair is a blueprint for you in your life. And as you shift and change, you will have different needs. Your hair will have different needs. As you go through certain decades, your hair will have different needs. As you come to certain awarenesses of, let's say, for example, you decide, I want my sovereignty back. I want to put my hair back in my hands. I'm tired of going to someone else and turning my hair destiny over to that individual. Okay, there are going to be a lot of changes that your hair is going to undergo. because you are taking back the power to be the person, the primary caretaker and groomer of your hair. So all of these things are really, really important. You should feel safe and confident. And remember, as you try different things, if you've got 400, 500, 600 locks, it's not going to hurt you to take 3, 4, 5 of them and to experiment. And I would say now going in, if you decide to shift from one lock to another lock, or from one particular pattern to another pattern, depending upon who it is that you are learning from, who it is that you trust, who it is that is working on your hair, do a trial. The same way you would trial with dye or anything else that you would put in your hair, say like a chemical or a relaxer or something like that prior to actually having your locks. Whatever it is that you may be doing, or you do a skin patch test with the oils or anything like that, take a few of your locks and just try it on those particular locks and watch those particular locks over a period of months or even more than a year, so that you can see how things will develop. And then if you like the feedback you're getting from your hair, then you can implement it over a larger amount of your hair or over your whole head. But the point that I'm making here is never resist a pivot or a change in direction or a change in your hair care routine out of fear. Just simply dive in, try it out on a few strands and see how things go. Okay, I hope that this video is shining the light of awareness on some of the things that you might not really have thought about when it comes to maintaining the health of your Sisterlocks or your Microlocks or whatever other kind of small lock that you have. You're with Tanisha Ali. If you have not purchased my Manifesting Your Masterpiece book, you can get it over on Amazon. If you're interested in any of the journals, the Architecture of Transformation, Mastering Your Feminine Energy and Relationships journal, the Breaking Free from Narcissistic Abuse, the Illuminated Path, the Hermit's Journal, any of those journals, you can search my name on Amazon and you can choose. And as I mentioned, you can also get this amazing LOC Journey Journal. You can get this one from the I Am Melanin Magic website. You can also get it on Amazon. I love you all. I hope that you have a beautiful rest of your day. Thank you for supporting the channel, and I will be talking to you again soon. Be blessed, because you already are.